Zhang Weili versus Joanna Jedrzejczyk takes place in the co-main event of UFC 248, Adesanya versus Romero, and dare I say the most anticipated women's title fight in the past 5 years? I feel like I can give it that. It is the most anticipated title fight as far as I can remember. Weili Zhang versus Joanna Jedrzejczyk, or Zhang Weili, whatever fucking way round you say their names, okay, is the most anticipated women's title fight I can think of off the top of my head. I love this one. I am actually even maybe as excited for this as I am with the main event. Now, the main event in Adesanya versus Romero means a little bit more to me. But Weili Zhang versus Joanna Jedrzejczyk, amazing fight. You've got the older champion who was champion and was the pound for pound great, the dominant strawweight champion who lost her belt, dropped down looking for a way to get it back. And then you've got Zhang Weili, the new breed, the monster herself, coming through, KOing Jessica Andrade in the first round, who's a woman that Joanna Jedrzejczyk took the distance. So it's a big narrative there. I like this from Zhang Weili, if I'm honest with you. And I feel like if she wins this one, she may be the biggest women's MMA star there is. Because you don't realise how big China is. Okay? If she traverses the Chinese market, okay? And people can start paying attention to her over there, she's going to have about 2 billion fans. Like, it's a different world over that side of the world. You know, it's just different over there. And I feel like if Zhang Weili can get a first round KO, as I am predicting, I feel like she's going to be a megastar. And I think she is going to get a first round KO against Joanna Jedrzejczyk. Here's why. Joanna Jedrzejczyk's had a lot of damage in her career. She's older, okay? She's getting worse and worse every single performance. She's going through more and more wars and more damage every single performance. She's been KO'd before. She doesn't do well with fast, head-boppy fighters, much like Zhang Weili is. And I feel like Zhang Weili's going to know that, and she's going to come out there like a freight train and smash Joanna's face in. If I'm honest with you, I think she's going to KO Joanna in the first round. I like Joanna Jedrzejczyk. I feel like if this fight goes 5 rounds and goes into those championship rounds, funnily enough, the challenger has all the experience in that realm, which is never something you hear me say often, or anyone say often. The title challenger has the champion experience that the champion doesn't have, which is strange to me. So I feel like that's going to play a part in this fight, to be honest with you. I feel like Joanna's really going to make a lot of stuff work in those 3rd, 4th and 5th rounds. But the problem is, I don't think she can get there. She's been KO'd a couple times, and at women's strawweight, being KO'd at all in your career, I know it's just people are going to say, just Rose Namajunas. That's like being KO'd 10 times in a row at heavyweight. You shouldn't be getting KO'd at women's strawweight, okay? Unless you're being slammed on your head while you're trying to hold on for an armbar, like Rose Namajunas, you shouldn't be getting KO'd. And Weili Zhang dishes out KOs, as we last saw against Jessica Andrade, who is another girl who's known to dish out KOs. I feel like Weili Zhang, the speed that I saw, and the switched onness, if that's a word, in that first round against Jessica Andrade, she came out there like there was no pressure whatsoever. I'm just going to blast knees in a clinch, elbow, big left hand, and there it goes. It's over. I feel like she can land those combinations on Joanna Jedrzejczyk, and I think Jessica Andrade has a better chin than Jedrzejczyk, to be honest with you. Andrade is the brawler of the division. Andrade is the John Lineker of the women's strawweight division. She gets in there, she hunches over, she wings bombs, and she comes forward. And she got KO'd by Zhang Weili. It's crazy to me. It really is crazy to me. I also feel as though Joanna is getting worse and worse with every single performance that we see her. And I don't mean to be offensive or anything, but Joanna Jedrzejczyk has been looking fucking terrible recently. Even in her win against Michelle Waterson. Michelle Waterson is not elite level at strawweight. She just isn't. She can split decision a couple of girls, like Karolina Kowalkiewicz by split decision, and Felice Herrig by split decision as well. But other than that, she's never shown that she can be of elite level. And Joanna Jedrzejczyk should have had a bit of an easier time. She shouldn't have had moments in the fight where she was in trouble, which she did, where Michelle Waterson had her back. That shouldn't be happening. Michelle Waterson could be a 105 pounder. And I feel like that's what I want to talk about here as well. You've got 2 legit strawweights. And I feel like when you're in the lowest weight class available, you don't only get the people that are in your weight class, in this instance strawweights. You're not just fighting strawweights. You're fighting everything below that as well. There's no cut-off point below you. So you've got girls that maybe could make 95 pounds if they were to cut as much weight as Khabib or Usman. But they just don't. They're in strawweight because that's the lowest weight class. Like Tisha Torres. Like, I just feel as though, and speaking of Tisha Torres, it's funny I just mentioned her because Joanna Jedrzejczyk's performance against her was fucking terrible as well. She should have had such an easy fight against Tisha Torres. Where is Tisha Torres on this resume? There she is. She should have had such an easy fight, but she didn't. It was weird. It was very weird. And I didn't like it one bit, I'll be honest with you guys. And a lot of people give her credit for the Shevchenko performance. I will bet any of you to search your brains right now and tell me anything that Joanna Jedrzejczyk landed on Shevchenko with any sort of significance whatsoever. I'll bet you can't do it unless you look it up and rewatch the fight. You name me one single shot in that fight that's in your head right now that landed clean for Joanna Jedrzejczyk. You can't. Joanna Jedrzejczyk got praise because she survived 5 rounds. This is the Felicia Spencer argument. They're women, so they get called brave by people on the commentary. Oh, she's just brave for getting in there. Like Karolina Kowalkiewicz. She's getting the shit beat out of her. Look how great she is. Oh, she's amazing. How tough she is and all this. They're just trying to buttercoat what we're watching. Joanna Jedrzejczyk got dominated for 5 rounds. I would actually much rather a Jessica Ai type performance. At least Jessica Ai came forward and tried to do something. Joanna Jedrzejczyk literally accepted defeat against Shevchenko and did nothing about it. Mounted no offense, had nothing to do, and just let it happen for 5 rounds and just focused on survival. That's not a win for me. Okay, that's a terrible performance. And I feel as though Zhang Weili is the type of man-woman that's gonna KO Joanna Jedrzejczyk. There's just a reality to the way girls are built. And Zhang Weili is built completely different to any other women's strawweight. She just is. She has wide shoulders. She's built like Dan Hooker almost. You know, that V sort of shape that she has to her. She's in weird shape. I don't know what sort of chemistry and biology they're working on over there in China, but they're getting good. And it's worrying, to be honest with you, because Zhang Weili ain't supposed to look like that as a 115-pound woman. And she's lighting up Jessica Andrade in the first round. I will say this. Zhang Weili, before the Andrade fight, what, you know, I know she was 19-1 before the Andrade fight, and now she's 20-1, but either way, before the Andrade fight, I know she beat Tisha Torres and dominated her, in better fashion than Joanna Jedrzejczyk, by the way, if I remember correctly, but, like, she didn't do much before then. Like, there wasn't this KO power, so I don't want to get lost in that. But I feel like, now that she's done it at championship level, there's almost like a switch, like, oh shit, I can do it. And now I'm going to do it more often. And I feel like that's what we're going to see here. I feel like this KO is going to give the confidence to Zhang Weili to put the pressure on Joanna Jedrzejczyk early. I'm assuming that's the game plan anyway. And light her the fuck up, to be honest with you. I like Joanna Jedrzejczyk. I feel like it would be better for the division if Zhang Weili wins. If Joanna wins, it's always good as well. Everyone knows who Joanna Jedrzejczyk is. The casual fans know of Joanna Jedrzejczyk. She was around for a very long time. She gave her, "The boogie woman is come for you," whatever she was talking about on the microphone. People know of her. So I wouldn't mind if she was champion. But I'm just looking at this resume of Zhang Weili. She lost her first ever fight by decision in a 2-round fight against Meng Bo. Where is Meng Bo now? Oh yeah, Meng Bo is in glory and won championship, and she's winning fights in 4-fight win streak right now. Very good of her to have that name on her resume, but either way, she's a flyweight, so Zhang Weili was fighting up a weight class, but Zhang Weili, since her debut, is on a 20-fight win streak. I don't care what weight class you're at, I don't care what level of competition you're fighting, to win 20 in a row, and TKO and finish a lot of them. She's had 3 fights go to decision out of 20 wins at women's strawweight. That is fucking crazy to me. That really is crazy. And then you look on the other side of the pond. Joanna Jedrzejczyk, 11 decisions out of 16 wins. She wins by decision here. I'm sure we're all understanding that Joanna Jedrzejczyk, if she were to win this fight, it would be by decision. She would take over in those later rounds. She's the girl with the championship experience. I just feel as though Zhang Weili is going to come out there and light her up in the first round, much like Namajunas did. Because Zhang Weili has that head movement. She can dip and come in. and Joanna Jedrzejczyk is a little bit James Vickish, if I'm honest with you. I see a lot of resemblance, not looks-wise, but like in fighting style-wise, between her and James Vick. Obviously, she's a little bit more technical, and she's got a better chin as well, and she's probably a bit stronger and shit like that. But either way, no disrespect to James Vick, but they fight similar. When you come forward at them and throw a lot of combinations and use a lot of head movement like Dan Hooker did to James Vick, where he sort of snaked his way in and uncorked the left hand, they sort of just, oh, stay away, I'm rangier than you shouldn't be in this close. And they freak out. And that's what happened against Namajunas. Namajunas dipped down, lunged in with the left hook, and Joanna just went like this. That's what she did. She just pushes her hands out. That's what rangy fighters do when you're getting on the inside and they aren't used to it. They just push their hands out like Wailing Inflatable, Armed Inflatable Man, Tube Mans, whatever that Family Guy thing is. And then they lose. I feel like that's what's going to happen here. She's going to get KO'd in the first round, and I look forward to it as well. And I think the winner of this fight should look to take on Valentina Shevchenko at some point. That might not happen because I know how the women's divisions work, and Shevchenko's probably going to book another fight before that's even a negotiation. You know, like we're going to hear in a couple of weeks' time after Joanna finishes Joanne Calderwood, I just signed a fight with Macy Barber. She's coming off a loss. Doesn't matter, I've signed it. Fuck. It's in Australia. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm fighting whoever I just said. Macy Barber in Antarctica right now. Can't answer the phone, unfortunate. She's just going to make paydays against less than adequate opponents over and over and over again and do the John Jones system of predicting and picking title contenders before they're ready for a title shot. That seems to be what's happening with Valentina Shevchenko right now. But either way, I feel like if Weili Zhang wins this fight, she should be, if there's any English she could learn the phrase Valentina Shevchenko, that's a name. You don't even have to learn. That's not English. It's just a name. It's Latin. Just learn how to say the sounds. Valentina Shevchenko, you are next. Done. Done. That's all you need. That's all you need. You don't have to know any English. That phrase, Valentina Shevchenko, you are next. So easy to say, by the way. Like if you gave me a name and you are next in Mandarin, I could easily say that shit. Ni hao ma. Zhao Zhao. I know some Mandarin. But if you gave me that phrase, I'd learn that shit. Put in the effort, Zhang Weili. Learn how to say, Valentina Shevchenko, you are next. And we're off to the fucking races. But she is going to beat Joanna Jedrzejczyk. I don't like Jedrzejczyk's performances. Didn't like her performance against Shevchenko. I give her no credit for going 5 rounds because she didn't even try. And if she did try, she probably would have got KO'd. She's too big for the weight class. She got a boob job even though she couldn't make weight anyway. Hey, I can't make weight. Let me put more stuff in my body. What is the mindset here? Wait until you're retired. Have 2 years without them. And wait. Whatever. I like them. I'm a fan, but like for your own career, Jesus, it wasn't the best move in the world. Lost to Namajunas. She doesn't learn from her mistakes whatsoever. And I think she's going to lose again. She should have looked better against Michelle Waterson. And even in her big wins, like a lot of things. Listen, this is what happens with MMA. We see a long title reign and we think the greatest of all time. And we think this guy is clearly above every single person in his division. But we don't look into how many split decisions Demetrius Johnson has had in his career that he's won. He's won a lot of them. Demetrius Johnson's won a lot of split decisions. Off the top of my head. Benavidez the first time. John Dodson, one of the times. Split decision. Henry Cejudo didn't go his way. There was one more split decision that he had. Ian McCall. That's the fucking guy. Ian McCall. Uncle fucking creepy. DJ's had a lot of... And I want to apply this logic to Joanna Jedrzejczyk's record. Because you look at it and you see win. But then you see a split decision against Claudia Gadelha. You see another decision that was somewhat competitive against Claudia Gadelha. You see another decision against Andrade that was somewhat competitive. A decision against Kowalkiewicz that was somewhat competitive. Like, these aren't wipeout performances. And I feel like with Zhang Weili as a champion, we're going to start seeing wipeout performances a little bit more often. In my opinion. Okay? I think she's going to go out there and she's going to fuck Jedrzejczyk up in that first round. Come out like a freight train. And just light her up with the hands early. Finishing her in the first round. Joanna refuses to learn from mistakes. She's a little bit retarded in the head as well. And I know that could be just because she doesn't speak English very well. So she just sounds like it. But I think it's beyond that. I genuinely think there's something a little bit off about Jedrzejczyk's mind. Like, she is just a dumb person, maybe. You know? Like, she doesn't take any responsibility for her losses whatsoever. She says jokes and then apologizes for them. Don't ever apologize for a joke. We've had one coronavirus. Listen, the coronavirus is funny. You know, it doesn't kill like 98% of people. Like, can we calm down? You know, we're going to start, oh, can't make fun of cars. They kill 1% of people. Like, that's not what we're going to do. Hey, no shark jokes, because if you're in the water, there's a 1% chance you'll die from them. I don't get it. Adesanya apologized for the 9/11 joke. Just fucking make your jokes, man. You can't apologize for shit like that. I just feel like Jedrzejczyk's going to get KO'd. I'm sorry. I think it's going to happen. I think she's very good. I like Jedrzejczyk. She's probably still one of the best strawweights of all time, even though Namajunas beat her twice. Second fight was close. Either way, I just don't like it. I really don't like it for Joanna Jedrzejczyk. I think she's going to get KO'd inside the first round. And I think that now that Zhang Weili has KO'd someone inside the first round in Jessica Andrade, she's going to have a lot more confidence in her striking. And she's going to sit down on her punches a little bit more. That could backfire. And she could overthrow shots and then gas out in the later rounds. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like it's not going to backfire. I think she's educated enough to know when to exert herself. And I think she's going to land a crisp punch on Joanna's chin and finish her inside the first round. Goodbye. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button there. See you later. Good shit. Zhang Weili by first round KO.